Okay, Springfield, Ohio resident here for 30 years. Okay, been here my entire life. And since we are trending right now all over social media and people are wanting answers from the residents, I figured I would chime in. Might be an unpopular opinion that people want to hear. Yes, we have a Haitian Creole immigration issue. In the last couple of years, they have dropped off 20 to 30,000 immigrants. The last year to 6 months has been insane. They are dropping them off by the busload. When I say busload, I mean the Greyhound busload full. They are taking them to the gas stations and dropping them off by the busload. But the big thing that I wanted to address, have I personally seen any videos or public reports of the Haitian Creole community stealing cats and dogs and eating them? No. The video that is going viral of the woman who killed and ate the cat is not from Springfield. Do I know for a fact, and have I seen with my own eyes, okay, a Haitian Creole immigrant killing ducks? Yes. They are killing ducks at our reservoir and at our parks. They are chopping their heads off and they are cooking them up. They are also gutting animals up at the reservoir and roasting them, goats, pigs, that kind of thing, which, you know, obviously isn't illegal, but the way that they're doing it and leaving things is just ridiculous. They have completely trashed our reservoir. I mean, overloaded with trash. It's really sad. There's 20 to 30 tents out there that they are sleeping in, and again, just completely trashed. The driving is a huge issue. There's probably 4 to 5 plus accidents a day of the Haitian Creole immigrants solely. They're running into any and everything. I mean that. Trash cans, poles, libraries, garages, houses, flipping cars in the middle of the street, going down the street the wrong way, going down one way is the wrong way. It's really bad. Not to mention, yes, they are here and they are getting a lot of money for being here. They are given money for their dependents. They are given money for food, housing, everything that you would think of. Springfield is a small town of 50 to 60,000, and now almost half of that is a Haitian Creole population. We are considered a sanctuary city. So, yes, there is a problem. Politically, I'm not getting into it. But yes, these things are happening. I know that on the Democratic side, it's all these things aren't happening. Yes, these things are happening, and yes, there are issues. But no, I have not physically seen or seen any proof of them killing cats and dogs and eating them. But they are definitely doing it to the birds and the ducks. Hope that answers questions. Oh, I was gonna end the video, but my biggest pet peeve is, like, I'm a big thrifter, and when I'm at the thrift store or any store in general, like, they will literally be on top of you, like, literally on top of you, touching your stuff. I don't know if I've already said this or not, but yeah, I don't know. Not a racist thing at all, and I do feel for them because the things that they're doing were okay in their country, and they were picked up and dropped off here. But it is an issue, and the things that you're hearing Springfield residents speak about is 100% true. And just because it's not documented with PD doesn't mean it's not happening. Like, just be for real. Also, Anthony Harris for mayor.
Are they going to stop? No. And that's how sick they are. They won't stop.
And, you know, Dana, how is it even possible that Lester Holt would tie an assassination attempt to, you know, what's going on in Springfield and threats in that town, bomb threats that are being made? Is that whataboutism?
I mean, I'm not in Lester Holt's mind. I know they have a 21-minute newscast every night, so maybe they're trying to figure out a way to just, like, put everything together. I also think that Springfield thing is bad. But separate from that, I look at the media and I think, so the Babylon Bee having the best headline, the Democrats accuse Trump of inciting further violence by not dying. Okay, but it's not, that's the Babylon Bee. It's not that different. The Washington Post said another chance for Trump to frame Democrats as dangerous has emerged. Politico, Republicans outraged over possible assassination attempt. Well, yeah. I mean, are you not? Just because you're not a Republican, are you not outraged by this? Like, if there was ever a time to be outraged, it would be now. And I think that the media continues to get us into this situation where we're living in a world that is highly charged. The nation needs a circuit breaker. We need both candidates to be protected. We need this president in particular. Donald Trump, who said 2 assassination attempts on his life. Do you think there aren't more copycats out there? And I'm sure they're having very tough conversations to what Jesse's saying, which is he's going to be out there campaigning. He's going to do it. And he must be protected because if the USA Today put this story in the top left corner of the front page. Okay, the front page is about hope in America, colleges divesting of Israel warned. An assassination attempt on one of the candidates in America is in the top left corner as if it's an afterthought. And they're lucky they were able to put it there and not make it another story. All of us are very fortunate that it turned out the way that it did, because in a moment, the nation is on a hair trigger. If something happens to Donald Trump or Kamala Harris, this nation's going to be in a lot of trouble. So we need the Secret Service to have what they need. If you need more money, great. As Jesse said, we'll get you the more money.
I'm not interested in telling people they can't say that stuff. If you want to call him Hitler, call him Hitler. I don't really care. But I do think there is a difference in how people react to it. There's a weaponized persuasion when it's done over time. For example, if you want to bring up that Trump was Obama born in the United States, 99% of the people thought that was a joke. It was not a sustained thing. What you're dealing with Democrats, I think, is a weaponized persuasion tactic. If you continually, over time, compare somebody to Hitler or Mussolini, you say you actually spread the key words of existential, threat to democracy, or evil over time. There's a definite reason for that. There's also just one little event that, like, people should remember. When Trump got shot and he shouted, "Fight, fight, fight," there were people in the media who claimed he was inciting violence. Yep. Okay, so I want you to remember that as they start to focus on the Trump base, because the Trump base is now going to be the target. It's going to be their response to the attacks either on Trump or on them. It's never the actual attack. It's their response to it. And they're always disappointed because after the Crooks attack, nothing happened. I don't think, if anything happens to Trump, there's going to be a lot of sorrow and a lot of pain and a lot of anger, but there won't be looting. There won't be rioting. There won't be crime because, we get up, we go to work, we try to be good people. I don't know if that's the case with the radicals, because you see that on campuses with a war that's in another country. That there is crime and vandalism and taking people hostage over an issue that has nothing to do with us.
Welcome back. The Secret Service and FBI are set to hold a briefing on yesterday's apparent second assassination attempt on former President Trump. This is lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are demanding answers about Trump's detail. And the Secret Service report on the first attempt is supposed to be released later this week. That may now be on ice. We are waiting to hear. We have complete coverage for you now. GOP Congressman Pat Fallon is here with his reaction. But first, we go to Fox News senior congressional correspondent Chad Pergram. He's live on Capitol Hill. Chad, what are lawmakers you're talking to this morning saying about the timeline here?
Jillian, good afternoon. Lawmakers are complimenting the Secret Service for foiling this attempt on the life of the former president, but it's unclear if the Secret Service has the resources to do its job.
The Secret Service told us very clearly last week that they are redlined, right? They are working overtime, double overtime. These folks are burning out. They need new resources.
Crow notes that the Secret Service is taxed protecting President Biden, Vice President Harris, former President Trump, and both vice presidential nominees Tim Walz plus J.D. Vance. Beadle said the agency needs about 9,500 employees. It currently has 8,000. Mike Kelly of Pennsylvania leads the panel investigating the July shooting.
The fact that President Trump was a former president, but now is the candidate for the presidency this fall, so shouldn't there be a greater coverage of that situation? But I keep going back to is we keep hearing they don't have enough men, they don't have enough money, and I think that's absolutely true, by the way.
Lawmakers gave the Secret Service more money than the administration asked for last spending cycle. Fox is told there is no request yet to add money for the Secret Service to an interim spending bill due later this month.
I mean, this is one of the reasons why I've been advocating for a full complement of Secret Service protection akin to what a sitting president gets for President Trump. As Chairman Kelly was just mentioning, he's a former president, but he's also the leading candidate to be president, and he's under threat from a foreign nation state for actions he took to protect the country while he was president. So President Trump, Donald Trump's a very unique individual. He's probably the most famous person in the world, and we need to protect him. And as far as the Secret Service saying that they need more money, the whistleblowers that I talked to from the Secret Service aren't quite singing that same tune. They're saying that we've got to spend it correctly, and there's things that they can do. But they have 8,000 employees and $3 billion budget. They have to, no extra money was needed in Butler to mitigate the AGR complex. They just didn't do it. And they didn't do, and they left President Trump in grave danger.
So all President Biden would have to do is tell his chief of staff, look, call the Secret Service, tell him to put the full presidential package on the former president. I mean, he wouldn't even need to pick up the phone himself or even pick up his pen to do it. Why do you think he doesn't do it?
It's a head scratcher. I mean, that's what he should do, and it's the proper thing to do. And by the way, what's the Secret Service's mission? I mean, they do other things other than protection, but as far as in the protection realm, you have to protect the president, the vice president, and you should be protecting presidential candidates. That should be your first, and make sure they are secure. And then you're going to have other protectees. You're going to have some cabinet members. You're going to have foreign heads of state and other things. But they shouldn't be the very first thing at the top of the level. You should be protecting those folks, and you clearly have the resources to do that. And they've failed now on 2 different occasions in the last few months.
All right, so after the assassination attempt in Butler back on July the 13th, there were bipartisan calls to lower the temperature of the political rhetoric. That lasted about a day and a half. And now here's what Trump is writing about what was behind this latest assassination attempt. He said, quote, he believed, the shooter, the rhetoric of Biden-Harris, and he acted on it. Their rhetoric is causing me to be shot at when I am the one who's going to save the country, and they're the ones that are destroying the country, both from the inside and the out. What do you, is the former president right? What do you think?
I don't think he's wrong because, I mean, he's been subjected to, he's been thrown, he's been skewered over the last 8 years, being compared to Nazis and Hitler and fascist and totalitarianist and racist, all the isms that you can possibly imagine. Whereas I think it's very important for us. Yes, we should have a spirited exchange of ideas, but, attack the ideas, not the person. I mean, I don't like President Biden's policies or Kamala Harris's. I think she's been MIA on so many things, but I just want to defeat her at the ballot box. I don't want them harmed in any way. And the left has to do a better job of making those distinctions. And sometimes they get very lazy, and it's emotionally driven to get people to the polls.
So your task force is acting for a meeting with the Secret Service brass. This is what you said in a statement on Sunday. Quote, we have requested a briefing with the U.S. Secret Service about what happened and how security responded. We are thankful that the former president was not harmed, but remain deeply concerned about political violence and condemn it in all of its forms. So you're investigating July the 13th. Are you going to add this one to your plate as well?
I think it's a great question. Absolutely, we should. We have the task force already, working. And we've been focusing on Butler, but we should definitely take a look at this because, yes, this assassin wasn't as close as the Butler assassin, but he was pretty darn close, 300 to 500 yards. That's in the danger zone for sure. So we have to look at where that broke down, and also laud the Secret Service agent that did see the muzzle of the rifle and did prevent President Trump being harmed.
It's a fight for the America we believe in. And make no mistake, it will be a fight. For all the incredible energy we've been able to generate over the last few weeks, for all the rallies and the memes This will still be a tight race in a closely divided country. A country where too many Americans are still struggling. Where a lot of Americans don't believe government can help. And as we gather here tonight, the people who will decide this election are asking a very simple question. Who will fight for me? Who's thinking about my future, about my children's future, about our future together? One thing is for certain, Donald Trump is not losing sleep over that question. Donald Trump is not losing sleep over that question. Donald Trump is not losing sleep over that question. Here's a 78-year-old billionaire who has not stopped whining about his problems since he rode down his golden escalator 9 years ago. It has been a constant stream of gripes and grievances that's actually been getting worse now that he's afraid of losing to Kamala. There's the childish nicknames, the crazy conspiracy theories, this weird obsession with crowd sizes. It just goes on and on and on. The other day I heard someone compare Trump to the neighbor who keeps running his leaf blower outside your window every minute of every day. Now, from a neighbor, that's exhausting. From a president, it's just dangerous.
Before we begin, I have to ask, have you been drinking? Thought so, you lush. Let's get right into it. January 6, 2020, as Speaker of the House, you were in charge of securing the Capitol, and yet you turned down 10,000 National Guard troops that would have helped protect it. Donald Trump blames you.
Well, I blame me.
Good, because we all do. Next question. If you had to depict yourself in a painting, what would that painting look like?
Cloven feet, horns on the head, a horrible person, in flames, a devil, and all of that.
So something like this.
Yeah.
Back to Trump. I read a report by an anonymous, unverified source that you secretly admire President Trump and you think he's really good at campaigning.
He has been the best organizer and fundraiser.
And what about him as a president?
Such a consequential president of the United States, a Mount Rushmore kind of president of the United States.
Really? Mount Rushmore? Nancy, you really think he belongs up there with Abraham Lincoln and George Washington?
But you got Teddy Roosevelt up there, and he's wonderful. I don't say take him down, but you can add...
Donald J. Trump. That would be sick, Nancy. I knew you weren't as crazy as they say you were. Last question. Your husband, Paul Pelosi. He seems like the kind of guy that likes to get down, if you know what I mean.
That's right.
Besides getting a DUI, he had a nudist, crack connoisseur in your house while he was only wearing his britches. Do you think this was a good choice?
Oh, I think it was a great choice.
Crazy bitch.
Serious heap of trouble with President Trump. We need to pray for him. Dear Lord God, please protect him. We need to be looking at everybody around us to see what kind of people they really are, because there's people out there that could be right next to us that are planning on the next assassination attempt of President Donald Trump, and we need to do something about it. You got to understand, all these Democrats are causing such a ruckus by so much hatred for Donald Trump that it is causing this problem to occur at this level. They are saying things like Nancy Pelosi, President Obama, all of them, all the Democrats are putting him down, and they are condemning Donald Trump, which is absolutely wrong. I'd never do it to them, and I expect them never to do it to us. But this is ridiculous. They are so determined to derail the Trump train, they will do anything. They will destroy it if they can. And that is the problem here, folks. We need to do something about it now. We need to take action and get on the phone and talk to people and protest this kind of stuff. We need to stop them from creating this environment that allows for people to think it's okay to go and try and shoot our favorite president in the United States of America, President Donald J. Trump. This has to stop now, folks. Stop right now, I tell you. So please, take the time, make the phone call, do what you gotta do, but you gotta do something to help out. These Nancy Pelosi's, these President Obama's, all these AOC, all these people that do nothing but speak nasty thoughts, and all this Department of Justice that keeps on coming after them because it's a bunch of BS, or I'll just say it, bullshit. And we need to do something to stop this. I mean, all of us. I can't just be the only one screaming and hollering. I'm mad as hell because this is the second attempt, on Donald Trump's life. This is unfair. I want to elect him as president of the United States on November 5th, and I want these Democrats out of the way. They are the ones that should be locked up and put in jail for their behavior. It's so outrageous. And on that note, I say, I love you, my brothers and sisters, and let's get the job done.